All right, what's up, everybody? Okay, so I want to talk about what we can learn from the past of what's happened already in Web3, what that tells us about the future, and exactly what it is that we're going to have to do as an industry if we actually want to see mass adoption. The punchline is that you have to be different and better. And so I feel like in the early days, we've been really focused on being different, but we don't yet have a thesis on what it is intrinsically that makes it better. And so that's what I'm going to be talking about today. So first of all, shout out to all the builders in the crowd. It is very easy to be building when you are in a bull market. It is a lot less fun when you're in a bear market. But the good news is that the bear market is absolutely going to obliterate all the people that were just in it because they saw a quick opportunity. And also, unfortunately, this one's harder to accept, but the reality is that people that don't know how to run a business are also going to be in trouble. And that was my big fear at the beginning of all this, is you had these incredibly talented artists generating $4 million overnight, not realizing that that meant that they just launched a business, they didn't know how to run a business, and we're dealing now with all of the fallout from that, with some of the big projects having to hand off to other people. And so as we, even this, like if you guys have been coming to NFT.NYC for a couple of years, you know how much the vibe has changed from previous years to now. It feels far more professional this year. Some people may hate that. I personally love it. I think that it's bringing the maturity that we're going to need for this to become an industry. Now, full disclosure, I am not a person who finds an indie band and then gets very sad when they stop being an indie band. I want to be part of that machinery that helps reach a mass audience. And so what I'm going to be talking about with this idea of borderless entertainment is, I think borderless entertainment is the emergent phenomenon that happens based on what's going on right now. So this is me attempting to put words to something that in no way, shape, or form did I create. I don't think anybody really created this. Borderless entertainment is simply going to be the collision of things that are already happening in technology. And so in the past, in Web3, we really attracted two kinds of people. We had the technophiles that were clever enough to build a blockchain that really understood that this was going to unleash something different. And then it brought along a lot of people that I will categorize, this is going to piss some people off, but I will categorize as gamblers. And so you had people that saw, ooh, this new technology creates a new ability to gamble, or potentially worse, it's a new form of investment strategy, and people were treating it like a financial instrument. That is where I think that people really went wrong. That set us up for a lot of the pain that we're going through now in terms of regulatory coming in with a blowtorch and a gigantic hammer and just burning and smashing things into pieces, which if you have not felt that yet in the industry, I promise you, you will. So anybody that's thinking that this is going to be a financial instrument, that it's a cooler way to deal in the stock market, that might be, but we already know what the stock market looks like, okay? So that is not different and better, which is exactly what I want to focus people on. Now, I come at it from the position of entertainment. So everything I'm going to be talking about is through the lens of somebody trying to build an entertainment company that is leveraging this emergent phenomenon that we're calling borderless entertainment to do something that is different and better. Now, to do that, we really have to, as an industry, start thinking about this in a new way. And so in the early days, it seemed like everybody was trying to drive the price of NFTs up as high as they could. And I think we want to be driving, again, this is coming from an entertainment perspective, I think that we want to make them more accessible. We don't want people to be spending so much money that they need to be thinking about an exit, right? If you spend $6 on a skin in Fortnite, you're not thinking about whether you're going to be able to flip that for $12 down the road. But being able to own it has a whole different set of ramifications. So when we talk about borderless entertainment, the thing that I want to really define clearly is what exactly are the properties that make up something that is borderless. So this is a revolution that I think is happening at the level of technology, and borderless entertainment is where the blockchain and AI collide. And then what is the emergent phenomenon when the blockchain and AI collide? So the blockchain, obviously, the key insight, and I heard this first said by Michael Saylor, and I thought this was really brilliant. And he said, for virtual things to matter, they must have the properties of matter. And I was like, okay, that really makes a lot of sense to me. If you want people to value a digital future, but value not in just a purely financial way, value in the way that you value a shirt, where it you know how many there are. You know where yours is. We know who controls it. We know who has it. We know that it's a limited supply. And you introduce the idea of irreversible transactions. So once you have that, now you have a digital world that can actually accrue what I'll call emotional value, where people can begin to emotionally invest in something, and that is the key. If you are talking about this being an industry that is anything other than gambling or securities, there has to be an emotional attachment. It can't just be the image that you put on a stock certificate, which is how a lot of the projects have treated themselves. If instead you focus not on how am I going to get people to buy this, but instead you ask a different, fundamentally different question, which is how am I going to get people to care about this? Now, if you put all of your time and energy into getting people to care about something, now you've got something. And when you take that from the technological standpoint, I think that you'll begin to see what this is necessarily going to become. So this is not me trying to convince you of anything. I feel like what I see are the physics of the human condition as married to the physics of the technology. And that's it. I am simply trying to be somebody who's pointing out where this goes, whether people want it to go there or not. What I'm talking about, I consider to be the inevitable future. Now, the reason that this is inevitable is because it is different and better. But we have to, again, define what that means. So when we say borderless, I don't want to see people getting trapped in the vision of what the metaverse was going to be, where you've got goggles on and that's it, and we all think that we're living in sort of one big giant computer system, kind of like in the book and movie Ready Player One, which Ready Player One, the book, I think is actually very predictive of where this goes. But the one thing that it gets wrong is that it sees everything playing out inside of the virtual world. What I'm saying is, I think the emergent phenomenon of being able to carry an NFT around in your wallet means wherever you go, the entertainment experience can follow you. And through the magic of AR, it doesn't have to be confined to a computer, a console, your phone. Literally, we can bring it into the real world. So a key part of being borderless is that there isn't going to be a hard transition between real life and the entertainment experience. So that's going to be seamless. So you can trigger an entertainment experience based on an NFT that you're holding in real life, in the game, on your phone. You can do things like, because I have a certain NFT, if you also have that NFT, you can see a character sitting on my shoulder through your AR glasses, or if you're holding your phone. So there's going to be this seamless transition between the game world and the real world, and that's going to get people to start thinking about new ways to engage people inside of the entertainment experience. The other part of the literal borderlessness of this is that because of some of the technological changes, we're no longer going to be confined to the way that games have traditionally been developed. So if any of you guys are game developers, you know that some of the infrastructure tools that are being put out there by companies like Unreal Engine are giving you the ability to do things that previously weren't possible. Same with AI. I can create a character that instead of telling that character what to say, I give that character a personality, and then I simply let you interact with them however you want to interact with them. And so it becomes this, and this is the next part, a hyper-personalized experience. And again, different and better. So when you think about Web 2 games, they've already got it on lock. Web 2 games are amazing. Nobody needs to try to go up against Web 2. They're already doing something incredible. So instead of trying to be skeuomorphic, where we just cram NFTs inside of a traditional Web 2 game, what I'm saying is, what is the fundamental nature of a Web 3 game? What does it look like? And the ability to combine with AI in a way where you're collecting these items that have utility in the game, that carry that utility outside of the game in a way that you're not going to be able to do without Web 3. Now you start to get to something that's very different. And the third thing is what we call a living world, where based on something that happens in real life, based on something that happens in the Discord, you can, within 30 seconds, 60 seconds at most, you can reflect the change that happened in the game, in the Discord or wherever, in the game. And because we're leveraging AI and the ability to use things like the tools inside of Unreal Engine, you're now able to make a game that is constantly changing, like literally changing, could be buildings in a different place, characters could say different things, and it's able to track the interactions that it's had with you over time. So now you get memory. You get a far more subtle experience with the game, with the in-game characters. Okay, those are the 3 ideas. You guys can see what we're doing with this. If you go to our Twitter, at Project Kaizen, you can get a taste of how we're using Borderless Entertainment right now. Be sure to check that out. It will play a video and give you guys a chance to win some cool stuff. So thank you guys very much, and I hope that you will all join me in trying to make something that is both different and better and doesn't just ape Web 2. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Tom. Great job.